It's my great pleasure to declare this shop open.
When we talk about communities, we're talking about communities as communities of people.
Once you get something like an apple press, it actually brings lots of people together.
Cheers! Yakida!
People often find it very hard to get just £2,000, which would make such a huge difference to what they're doing.
The actual buzz of seeing the smiles on the faces of the people who come up here, the enjoyment they get out of what they're doing.
One of the useful things about the panel is not just the individual projects, it's that we're getting a sense of need.
And addressing that sense of need is the work of this panel, the Sustainable Communities Fund. They're part of the South Downs National Park Authority. They fund projects big and small right across the national park.
There are over 108,000 people living in the park. The objective and aims of the Sustainability Fund is really to encourage small groups and organisations to projects they've been looking at for a long time to get them off the ground. A small amount of money to a small group is actually a powerful lift. It enables them to do a lot.
I think like Milland Shop, Community Shop, I think excellent idea. It's a local community and it should be done.
Can everybody take a few steps back that way? That would be very helpful.
It's a grand moment for the people of Milland, a village in West Sussex.
When my family first moved here 35 years ago,
the actor Hugh Bonneville is opening their new community shop.
There was a butcher on that corner, there was a general stores, and of course over the years, with the rise of supermarkets and everything else, that sort of element of the community passed away. It's my great pleasure to declare this shop open.
Until this remarkable venture began late last year, to go to the nearest shop to pick up that forgotten pint of milk was a 10-mile round trip.
So I think having a shop open when shops all around the country are closing, and so that's to Milland and everyone who's worked so hard.
And to have a star in our
midst, and have a star, of course, have you here.
I think in this internet age, having a place like this that allows people to see the whites of each other's eyes, literally, and to actually shake hands and to actually check that each other is all right, it's going to provide a fantastic and important service.
Jane Holmes has come down from her village in Surrey, where she was part of the team that started their own community shop.
That is a good brand, La Missouri. It's a local brand. So in our community, when our shop shut down, nobody walked anywhere anymore, nobody met anybody. Everybody just, got in their cars and drove down the village, whereas now everybody's wandering around saying, hello, I haven't seen you for ages, and it's fantastic.
The shop is non-profit. It has 2 full-time managers, and everyone else is a volunteer.
But there's a lot of people here for whom, this is going to make a real difference. And South Downs could see that, and they really understood the difference that a community shop could have to a rural community. So they were absolutely brilliant. Low level of bureaucracy, very responsive, very quick, and they absolutely delivered on everything that we'd hoped and wanted. Fantastic.
We've been going for about a year. We're spending up to £400,000. We've been very fortunate in the amount of money we've got, and we've funded a whole range of projects. Our emphasis is very much upon projects which involve the community. We're very keen on seeing volunteers involved with projects.
Okay, but anything that's really bad needs to go in the bucket.
The whole idea of the juicer really was that, again, the villages around the area, because it's not just the village alone, but it was the most, I think it was the biggest bumper crop that we've had for some time. All these apples, what are we going to do with them?
In the village of Plumpton, they know exactly what to do with them.
Cheers.
For some reason, this corner of East Sussex has had an abundance of apples.
Beautiful. Yum. Really apples, how wonderful.
Well, we seem to have a lot of apples at home. We don't know what to do with them, so.
You look like a lady that might have apple trees in your garden. I
Lots of people have apples in their garden, and a lot of those get just drop on the ground and they rot. People don't know what to do with them after they've made a few apple pies and that sort of thing. They go to waste. So in this way, literally, all those apples will be able to be used.
The juicing equipment cost around £1,700.
And the National Park, through their Sustainable Community Fund, has funded the cost, or part cost, of the press and all the paraphernalia.
I think when we see issues like this where the National Park wants to engage with local communities and through action plans and community groups that are able to deliver projects like this, then that can only be good.
That's exciting. How many litres out of that? Probably. What it does is that once you get something like an apple press, it actually brings lots of people together, people that probably don't know each other, and this will actually bring people together. And that's what it's all about, communities.
Cheers!
The South Downs National Park is a truly 21st century park. It stretches from Winchester to Eastbourne. Also, we have a hinterland along the coastal strip in particular, stretching from Southampton, Portsmouth, Worthing, Hove, Brighton, and then along to Eastbourne. It's a park which is also only 50 miles from London. It is a park which is also not far from the rest of Europe, as it were, but it's really a very different national park. It's not just a wilderness, it's a living park with people living within it and people enjoying it.
This Hampshire school faces a problem common to so many other schools across the national park and indeed across the country.
We've got quite a few problems with traffic and getting into Gretham, mainly because of the vast number of parents who have to use their own transport because we don't have a regular bus service.
These children are going to find out how they might be able to make a difference.
Ladies, favourite car? A Lamborghini. Gentlemen, she's going to be very expensive and she's going to be an accountant.
There's not much they don't know about cars.
Is it a Bugatti Veyron?
It is a Bugatti Veyron. Now ladies, put your hands up if you know what a Bugatti Veyron looks like. A simple question. Who wants a car when they are 17? There's 8 years between now and when you can drive, perhaps a bit more. That's 4 million more cars on our roads than there is today. This bicycle is powered by a battery. 1, 2. It will do exactly what any other moped or scooter does when you are 16. What we're trying to do really is to give the children a reason behind why we want them to cycle and walk. And apart from health, it's all about reducing car use by lowering the use of fossil fuels.
Terry Osborne is taking this Smarter Choices Roadshow to around 50 other schools in the national park.
This is really important just to raise awareness that by using a car, even for sometimes a short distance, that it may be an unnecessary journey. But I think the small journeys are the ones that actually create more of the problem.
That's awesome.
Some visitors do travel quite a distance, so to actually offer sort of opportunities where they can camp, where they can stay overnight, they can stay here for a few days, then Saddlescombe Farm is certainly, it's a development of a campsite. We've been supporting it in trying to help them with the facilities and things, because we want people to come here, stay here and enjoy the whole area.
The 100-mile-long South Downs Way is the jewel in the crown of the national park, and it's a key part of the sustainability agenda. There are virtually no facilities for the thousands of walkers who come here every year. There's hardly anywhere to stay and hardly any toilets either.
An awful lot of people, they'll drive to point A, drop a car at point B, walk to point B, drive back to point A, go home, into town, stay in a bed and breakfast, and then repeat that. And as a sustainable concept, a nightmare.
Saddlescombe Farm is just outside Brighton. It's run by the National Trust, and Charlie and his colleagues here are trying to change all that. They've opened a campsite, and they've built a cafe for the walkers. And now, thanks to a grant from the Sustainable Communities Fund, these will be the first public toilets this end of the entire South Downs Way.
It's a bit hard to judge now, but the new toilet block's going to be in here. So basically there's going to be 3 cubicles along this end, this one being disabled.
So the roof lights, as you can see, it's only got 1 at the moment, but we're going to double that to allow the natural light to come through, so saving on electricity.
In future, walkers won't have to take to their cars to find somewhere to stay or indeed to go to the loo. And don't forget it can take up to 4 to 5 days to walk the length of the South Downs Way. So where do you stay? Where do you go to the loo?
Sustainability and the way we use our countryside, we've got to look at that in 101 different ways, and some of those things don't make financial sense without a bit of seed funding just to get things started.
What we try to do all the time, and in fact we insist on it, is that we add value to what the community is already doing it for itself.
I think that's critical.
The Fitzroy project, again, small project. It's a group of disabled people that very much want to be part of the park. They want to get involved in growing their own veg, you know, in getting involved in the woods and everything else.
To the national park, we had a real difficulty of deciding where to have the headquarters.
Behind these radio masts, high up on the downs at East Meon, is the Sustainability Centre. Part of the site is used by Elizabeth Fitzroy Support, a charity that works with adults with physical and learning disabilities.
Right, various activities this morning, ladies and gents. We've got the woodworking, the box making, the bird box making, the hurdle making.
There we go, off you go.
Haven't got actually foot in contact at the moment, have you?
That's it.
You're getting a bit of an expert at this now, aren't you? Well, the Sustainability Fund has been absolutely brilliant for us because we've got, as you see, this is a site that we're developing at the moment. And we've got 2 woodworking areas down here that's funded from the start. It was pretty much waste ground. So from the decking at the bottom, working upwards, they've paid for everything. That includes all of the tools, the wood. This is our more modern woodworking areas. We've got the traditional next door, and what these gentlemen are doing, we are a social enterprise site, so we're trying to make a few pennies.
I like gardening. I like doing lots of work in here. I like sweeping the leads, watering.
The actual buzz of seeing the smiles on the faces of the people who come up here, the enjoyment they get out of what they're doing, the self-esteem that they grow, and the excitement that they have from the moment they get here to the moment they go.
Neil Slatter from the South Downs National Park Authority has come to see how they're getting on.
Right, Nick is in charge at the moment of making our bird boxes.
The bird boxes will be sold at a local market.
Well, this side is a much more traditional woodworking area.
I just think it's phenomenal. I mean, I was here just 2 months ago, and it's just incredible. It was like bare earth almost. And now we've got this amazing centre, the equipment, young people getting involved in the whole project. It's just about really opening up old skills and old techniques to people, and I'd just like to see this right across the park.
We've got some of these who come up 4 or 5 times a week, weekends. The care homes report how they're sitting by the front door because they got the wrong day and they're really disappointed that they can't come up.
We're very keen on helping smaller organisations who maybe don't know how to fill in forms. Forms, as we all know from job applications, etc., can be horrendous, and if you don't tick the right boxes you feel you're not going to get. Not like that. We want community groups to come to us, ring up our staff who will give advice on how to fill in the forms and of course whether the application is worth making in the first place, and we will hold your hand from the beginning, from your first expression of interest to the point at which this panel makes a decision.
I think some of the key issues, the specific ones, are about getting people involved and getting people to actually own and be part of the park. Because if you believe in it and you feel that it's part of you, then you'll look after it and help develop it. Really, the SCF fund is all about enabling people to get involved.